Well, good evening once again, the internet. Welcome to, believe it or not, the 36th week of Studio Rats live Q&A. Welcome. What?
You say the internet. Is that like the whole of the internet?
The whole of the internet's watching us.
Wow.
All of it, all at the same time.
Wow.
My name's James Ivy.
I'm Paul Drew.
I'm honorary studio rat for this week and most weeks, Jack Duxbury.
You're not honorary at all, mate. You're full in now. You can't get out. Once you're in.
Mate, I've got a camera now. I've got a ZV-1.
Have you?
So
Oh,
maybe-
nice one.
Anyway.
Nice.
Good evening, everyone. I am going to post the link, so if you care to join us. I'm going to say, though, newbies only. As much as we love SDR and Mr. Ayton, newbies only. We want to hear from some new people. So come on and join us, or just type your questions. All the normal stuff, all the normal shenanigans applies. Type your questions, and we will do our best to answer them. Or if you want to jump in and come and chat, apparently we're having trouble with my connection. That's not good, is it? There we go.
Mr. Lawn Plumber has asked for you to play a bit of guitar, Jack.
Here we go.
Yeah, come on, because he does some awesome playings. What are you rocking there? What is that?
Should I play my favourite chord?
Go on then.
It's the same one everyone is.
Major 9.
Yeah. And then moving up a little semitone.
See, I thought you'd play the Bond chord. I have to admit, because the Bond.
Yeah.
Although there's so much argument.
How was that?
What's the chord that you play when you sit down? They give you a guitar. Here, Mr. Drool, we give you a special guitar. You play, and then you play. Oh, that is the Paul Drew chord.
That's the Paul Drew chord.
Oh dear.
See, you're major 9. You're happy. You're happy. You're E major 9. I'm Mr. Miserable E minor 9.
Yeah, it's a fat E minor.
The man who can't write a fast song.
How many fast songs? Like 50% of the songs we've ever done have been fast songs.
Yeah, but the first few were all kind of bad salads, weren't they?
Bad salads, Jesus.
Sad ballad, bad salad. It's a spooner.
There's plenty of drummers that want to come on board, so you don't need to worry, mate.
Who put up with you?
I'd hate for you to play something you didn't want to play on.
Bamboo spoon.
Huh?
Bamboo spoon.
Bamboo spoon, yeah.
Bamboo spoon. So I've got two things that I want to talk about tonight. One of which is silly and frivolous and is just has made me smile many weekends. Have any of you seen Toyah and Robert's Sunday Lunch?
Oh, yes.
I haven't seen it, but I've seen the thumbnail, and I felt like I got it from the thumbnail.
Shall I just bring up a picture?
Just bring
This is what I've seen.
Okay, hold on.
It is so we all know who Robert Fripp is, and hopefully we all know who Toyah Willcox is. If you haven't, if you don't know who they are, check out King Crimson, check out Toyah from the 80s.
Who for some reason is much hotter now than she used to be in the 80s.
Yeah,
it's so strange, isn't it? What's going on?
It's very
Here we go.
I can give you two reasons why they get.
Okay, let's share this.
I would probably bang Robert Fripp just for how good he is. I'll take Rob. Frippatronics. Think of what you can do with the Frippatronics.
Yeah.
Think of the electronics, yeah.
There we go.
So
you're gonna have to zoom in on that, mate.
I don't think I can. Can you actually zoom?
No, just Command Plus.
Command Plus.
That might
I'm
work.
learning new stuff. Hey! There we go.
And that's what I got.
Yeah, I mean, hold on.
It's slightly crazy the fact that say every Sunday they post another classic rock song. While Robert playing guitar and Toyah, I think she was playing guitar this week, which was bizarre.
Plumber said that's plastic surgery for it. I said, what? Are they not real? Have I got this all?
Yeah, tastefully done.
Are they? But I mean, she loves getting them out. But anyway, this is a music show. This is not a boob show, is it?
Anyway, but I just thought it made me laugh. And anything that makes you laugh at the moment is worth it, isn't it?
Definitely.
The current situation. So, as ever, the questions that I've got are all driven from my own requirement to learn and to find out what you guys are doing and find out what everyone else is doing out there in the world. Paul,
Before we do that, should we work? Should we just hear what everyone's done this week?
go on then. Go on then.
Go on, Jack. What have you done this week? Because you had to disappear. You had to disappear early.
Mm. Well, I said
Just to
I
make
went
your time
around-
up, by the way.
I feel comfortable with it because it was all COVID safe because his house is so big that I went around to James Arthur's house last week when I left you, and so I've been going. I went there a couple times to set up his content room. He wanted to be able to stream. I set up his studio for him, and that was, but that's a bit of a walk for him. He didn't like that walk, so he wanted one a bit nearer for the
How far
Instagram.
was the walk?
Oh, it's through his leisure centre. Were you seeing the picture of it? But he's so sweet. And so in the house, and it was interesting to set up actually. I used a Apollo X4 as basically a posh mini mixer because he likes the sound of that. And he also wanted to have, even though he's a brilliant singer, the auto-tune real time.
Yeah.
So I set that all up for him. And then basically that into a great thing called an iRig Stream.
Yeah.
IK Multimedia. And it was great because it went green when because he's got a tendency, the hearing's gone a bit, so he cranks it a bit too loud. So just those two bits of gear and two mics. And what's nice is I spent his money, so I got to try out the Warm Audio KM84 ripoff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're good.
Really nice. And then a Flea 47.
Hold on a second. Did you go and buy a Flea 47 for him to do a stream
on Instagram? And he's already got
amazing.
In the studio because he was like, "Yeah, I just really like it, Jack." And there I am going, "Oh, you just want an SM7," but he's like, "I like the sound of that one." And then that's when you realise the different levels, isn't it?
Jeez, what's a Flea 47 now? 2.5 grand?
For like 3.6.
Is it 3.6? Is it?
But it sounds. I mean, he sounds amazing. But you can see it on his Instagram. What I love about him, you go to the effort of setting it up, and I left him a little instruction sheet, and then he uses it. You must have it with your kids where you set stuff up and they don't use it.
He's not a kid.
Well, I don't have kids, so he's like my.
Do you know what? I mean, in all fairness, I honestly do believe this. I think he's got one of the greatest modern voices of all. You know, at the moment, he's got one of the best voices out there. I think he's. I'm not shy of criticizing my employers, but I don't have with his voice. He is. I thought I'd play with some good ones, and then when I heard it in the room, it's incredible. Yeah, he is fantastic. Yeah, he's one of my favorite.
That's what I was doing. Yeah, and then I'm doing a lot of very speed and very pitch wibbly woo vocals today on some Bastille stuff.
Ooh, nice.
Very pitch stuff.
Yeah, you know, they're really into Bon Iver and Kanye West, and I find that in Logic, if I turn it to very speed and pitch, I flick it down like, say, 5 semitones, it slows it down and slows the pitch, then I sing loads of dodgy licks, like, oh, tune it hard, then I flick it back to normal pitch, and that's the kind of Kanye cool vocal.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know
Anyone out there, it's really simple. Just I don't know how it works. I don't know why when I change the pitch, and then I go back, it's all in the same key, but it just works.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah, sounds cool like that.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's cool for anything you want to change the timbre of, because it essentially changes the formant when I hear it.
Yeah.
So I do. Yeah.
In Digital Performer, there is a feature called the formant changer, and it's the only door I know that's got this built in as standard. So you could make a male voice sound like a female voice, or a female voice like a male voice, and the cool thing is it works really well for faking harmonies. So if you just want to thicken up a vocal, take a female voice and turn it into a male tenor or a male baritone, and you get this lovely kind of gospel choir type sound out of it. It's really cool for that, and it's one of the only things I still use DP for. There's one bounce out of Pro Tools into that, open it, do it. I'm sure there's a plugin for Pro Tools available, but
We use Little Alter Boy. That's the one I use all the time.
Yeah, great.
That's just got the Formant thing. So that's it. If someone wants to do it, that's the one.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, that's a really good plugin. That.
Sorry, I went a bit deep there.
No, that's great, mate. No, it's great. I mean, I don't think I've got all the photos. I only got one photo from you, which was the Flea 47 sticking up. But that was
in the pool. Do you not get the swimming pool?
No, I didn't get that. Oh, mate, you've got to send that because I'd love to see that. This is just a.
It's just Matt, and he's in there on his own. That's the best bit.
Is he? He hasn't got a girlfriend or anything that's over there.
No, she was away being.
Wow.
Yeah, but he's a lovely. He's so exactly the same because he was born on television.
Yeah,
I never watched it on television, and so I started playing with him, and then went and watched back. And you watch it, and you're like, wow, no wonder those shows were famous if they thought they were all going to be like James Arthur.
Yeah.
You're like, because he's so moving, starts singing, and you're not even interested. You're like welling up a bit, and he can
completely agree.
Sing Happy Birthday and make you cry.
It would make me cry at my age, mate. James, what you been doing?
So this week I've been mostly doing tutorial videos.
I used to love that program.
I used to love it. Tutorial videos for Antelope and prepping some new stuff. I've got a new piece of kit coming that I can't talk about this week, but I will be able to next week, hopefully, and it will be here, and I'll be able to show you it. I think it gets announced tomorrow, but I'll have one by next week.
Nice.
Quite excited about.
What company?
A well-known British mixing desk manufacturer.
I think I've got one. I think I've got one too.
What? Where's mine?
Is it the southern of the two British? I can't say that because Audient would lynch me. Of the two,
no, it's the one. It's the one with a West Country accent.
Oh no,
I'm lost.
I'm
so lost.
Oh, SSL. I've got something from SSL.
What? I've got one coming, but I haven't got it yet.
Hold on a second. How come I don't know about this?
Also, how can Oxfordshire be the West Country, Jack?
I only think of Peter Gabriel owning it, and then I think he's in.
Well, he's near Bath.
I sort of get that.
Yeah, SSL have got a new box coming out.
James, like, sorry, Paul, and everyone else, but I was a bit. It's something I didn't expect.
What?
Whoa, Paul! Look at what I know. Something for once.
I'm glad that I haven't got one coming.
We could talk about it more next week, but
okay, do it next week.
But it's I think I'll have made a couple of videos for it by then. And it does. I haven't seen.
Analog for Life said it in Florida.
Yeah.
So is that what it is?
Yes, we think it is.
Awesome.
We think
so
it is.
An SSL controller. What like a fader bank?
Hopefully, it's better than the.
I'll throw myself under the bus. Yeah, pretty much.
Hopefully, it's better
like the Nucleus.
Hopefully, it's better than the Nucleus.
Oh God, let's hope so. That was shocking.
What was wrong with the Nucleus?
It was
just $2,000, and it felt like something by Fisher Price.
Oh, it was rubbish, and the way you had to set it up was just. We had one in the studio for a while, and it was.
The price of this is the coolest thing I know from it so far.
The what? Sorry.
The price is the best thing I've seen about it so far. I haven't used it.
How much?
South of a G.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think the Nucleus was about 17 when it came out, something like that. It was.
Whoa.
It just wasn't worth it. You know, like SSL, they just bung the price up, and you just go, well, I could buy the same sort of thing.
The PreSonus equivalent would be 3 times
of it,
and a third the price.
Yeah, and probably better build quality. To be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, we'll talk about that next week when when I can wave run around and go, I've got one. Yeah.
Your Marshall videos, Paul. Sorry, James. I haven't gone on a hunt for a new amp in a long time, and that miniature Plexi had me gassing.
That's what I've ordered the Plexi because I had to. So they picked. I've got the stuff waiting by the front door actually to go back to them. Actually, I don't know why I couldn't just keep that one. Anyway, yeah, I had to order the Plexi because the Plexi, like, I wasn't expecting it. And you plug it in, and it's just so responsive. Just the way it felt, just like the Telecaster as well. That was it for the Telecaster. It was just like
and the form factor. You were so right. All the livery and everything was exactly what I want. Size wise, I didn't quite get it. Is it smaller than a Plexi?
Oh yeah. Like a Plexi's like. I mean, I can't. How can I?
Would you say it's the same size as the Synergy amp? Like not quite. It's like a 3/4 head. Not quite a lunchbox like the little
the Rev, but
it's definitely bigger than the Rev. The Rev's like that. If the Rev's that, this is like
screenshot.
I mean, if you saw it, you wouldn't go, "Oh, that's a small Marshall." It doesn't look like they've released that in the past where they've released some little. It's not like that. It's a decent size.
So I think it would look really nice. Chandler, Synergy, the JCM. I love the 800. I have to admit. I know it's all about the Plexi, but I love the 800 because I had an 800 and I should never have sold it. I loved it. So I love the 800.
So I was doing that and I finished this. It weighs a ton.
Wow.
Is that the Goodwood? What? Who makes that one?
Alder and Ash.
Alder and Ash. Nice.
That looks very nice, mate.
Got some weight to it, I can tell you.
That ES8 is an awesome product, right?
Yeah, it's brilliant. Really good. Really, really impressed with that, actually. Oh, I'm going to put that down.
Nice.
The only thing about it, because the pedal board, it's that Alder and Ash pedal board, because it's Kiet or Kiet, the wood.
Right.
Kiah. It's some tropical wood, I don't know. And I just think you can't really gig it, can you?
They do cases.
Yeah, they do the case. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get the case if I gig it because I'd be scared of damaging it. It's great in the studio, and I love it, and I think it's a really nice thing, and I think it's so nice to have that as opposed to just a crappy pedal train metal, made in China thing.
Was it a lot of money?
I think they're about 250 quid, but it's a handmade thing. I think it's a lovely thing.
Did you get your insignia on the back? Did they do your like a little?
No, that's their thing. But it's got like it's got like a lid on it. It just lifts up, and you put your power underneath it.
A couple of Andertons, and they look beautiful. Yeah.
Oh. Well, they sell them at Andertons, do they?
They did. I think the boards. They tried to get a deal. There's loads of stuff in the annals of Andertons.
Yeah.
Which get sent, and they try because it's very hard for people to actually get stopped.
So this guy's got, he does this at weekends. So he's got a day job, but he's trying to build up the company. So it's so we can do it full time. But they're
beautiful things, and it's nice that they're not in America. I can remember when they first started coming out, those wooden boards, and you had to kind of take a punt from America. So that's good.
Yeah, no, I'm really impressed, and I'd recommend anyone go and check them out.
Nice.
Right, we've had loads of questions. So should we do questions before we do? Well,
yeah,
we've had loads.
Yes,
Okay. Jack. So Long wanted to hear Jack play. Jack's played. Mike says greetings from Sebastian, Florida. Hi, Mike. Safi, good evening. May want to also request that all SR band performers. That'll be fun over the internet. That would just be all of us out of time with each other, wouldn't it?
The irony is, I'm kind of working on a solution for us.
Really?
Yeah. I'm not going to get us too excited, but I'm working with a company that have got the virtual rehearsal thing almost there.
That would be amazing. Wouldn't that be so good?
It's close. You can feel it. You can feel it in the air.
Oh, that'd be so close when that happens.
It is so close. And what's more impressive is you don't need an absolute ton of gear to make it work either. You could do it on your iPad.
What?
That's the coolest thing.
Awesome. Okay. Well, more of that in a minute.
I can't say at this point. I really can't talk about it because it is uberly hush. But as soon as we'll have the. I'm trying to push for the worldwide on it. Worldwide exclusive on it, but
Yeah.
currently the 20 people watching, they kind of want more than 20 people to watch it.
Can we do hold the line? Can we do hold the line if we do it?
Oh yes.
Oh,
Test the timing.
Yeah.
it's
Yeah. Oh,
funny-
yeah.
it's
That's
funny
true.
because I was thinking about. I'll come on to it.
Okay.
Carry on.
Analog for Life says, why doesn't anyone warn new studio owners that cables are the most expensive thing?
Amen, brother.
Ain't that the truth?
You ain't wrong.
Ain't no lie.
I think I dropped about 6 G's cabling this up. Proper.
Yeah. Cables are expensive. Yeah. Don't bother. Don't buy cheap crap cables.
No, it's
Analog
not-
for Life.
no
It's
point. There is
not worth
no-
it.
No point at all.
Yeah, you'll only end up replacing it.
Mhm.
And wish you'd have spent the money. Mike says, big thank you to Paul for trying to help me with his guitar purchase. So have you bought one, Mike? You can let us know. Antonis Avgulas, excuse me if I've ruined that. Greetings from Greece to all of you. Paul, thank you for your great videos about the Bosch GT1000. Pleasure, mate. Absolute pleasure. Love doing it, actually. I think the GT1000 is one of my favorite things. I love that thing. Lawn Plumber says Abatrick. I'm guessing that Lawn was talking about your pitching and formant thing.
Yep.
Hey, James, my friend got the Galaxy 64. I'm next on the list.
Well done.
Awesome. Nice
It is
one.
awesome. Mine had to go back because they didn't have that many. I'm getting another one, but I've said don't rush me up the list too much because at the moment I've got no space for it, and in a couple of months' time there won't be any use for it anyway. So
I don't know what that is.
the Galaxy 64 is the new Antelope interface. 64 channels of analog I/O in 2U.
What?
Dante, AES, 4 HDX ports, so you can have 192 channels of Pro Tools HDX. Maddie,
Wow.
Uncle Tom Cobley, and all.
I love that connector.
The Uncle Tom Cobley connector. Yeah. It's a pretty awesome thing. I mean, it's there's no two ways about it. It's $10,000.
Unfathomable how far things have come, right? That's crazy.
Yeah. But it's very, very cool. It's very, very, very cool.
Analog for Life says, I'm sorry, since they left you guys, it's been rubbish. Trying to think what that was about. Anyway, let us know if
It came out at the same sort of time as the SSL discussion, but I don't know what that meant either. So.
SSL. Well, I guess the
I've
manufacturer.
ordered 3 UA reverbs.
What?
I've
3?
ordered the UA reverbs 3X. The pedals, I'll use it for outboard reverbs.
Nice, mate. That'd be awesome.
Oh, and I
Very-
think you're talking about SSL leaving England, maybe.
Yes, of course, because Audiotonics now own SSL rather than SSL being their own thing.
I see.
Audiotonics, who own.
Analog for Life. Why aren't you coming on the show? We've got the link up there.
Yeah.
Come and join us on the show.
God, it all and all the messages are sort of out of time now for what we've been talking about. We should go through them as they come in. Mike said, have you heard demos? I'm guessing
Of the pedals.
Piss out of
the
the
pedals, yeah. Hank says, lovely, gorgeous pedal board. Cheers, mate. Studio board, yeah. I've asked Rich to sort my board. Nice. Lawn Plumber said that. So Rich is the guy from Alder and Ash.
Mhm.
Yeah, you won't regret that, mate. You'll have a lovely time with that. Hank says, do any of you use MIDI controllers much? I've recently got a Roly Lightpad block.
I like the idea of those things. I've never got into it because it's not my world, but I like the idea of them. I've got a mate who plays a Roly Seaboard, and he's really good. You know, the keyboard that's not really a keyboard, but
When
kind
you
of
do that with it and stuff. Yeah.
he's very good. So
Jack?
Yeah, I mean, I have to demo them, but if, in all honesty, do I use anything other than a traditional keyboard? No. It's the same. I've got that SSL controller. I showed Mark it at the studio, and he's like, because we're selling our center console of the Audient that we've got.
oh, you're getting rid of the DFC.
Yeah, because we just don't use it.
Hmm.
We
Spot
just,
it.
I just draw it in. So I get it. I did a demo the other day for something really fun that I thought maybe is in the right. It's under £100, and it's like a little. It looks like a half-cut melon, and it's got the Rolly MPE Touch. Have you seen that?
Yeah. Yes, I have. Yeah,
and you can shake it. It's got a gyroscope, but it's like 99 quid. And it actually, I played in a shaker pattern with it, and it was great. And I think that side of it is fun. But when it gets heavy and expensive, I'm like, oh, can't be bothered.
Yeah. The Rolly stuff. It's funny because when I was being left by Avid 10 years ago, there was two companies I was looking at. In fact, there was three companies. One was Antelope, bizarrely, and I thought at the time, no, I'm not sure I want to work with a company that just makes digital clocks. It'd be really boring. Who knew? Two of the other companies. One was called Eigenharp.
Oh, I know that.
Who make this thing that looks like an electric bassoon, but it's actually a MIDI controller, and it's one of those instruments that about 3 people in the world can play really well, and everyone else makes look terrible. And I thought, no, perhaps this isn't for me. And the other company I looked at was Rolly, because they were at the time a startup and had quite a lot of money, quite a lot of funding.
Yeah,
I just thought, I'm not a good enough keyboard player. And everyone says, oh, you haven't got to be a keyboard player to demo Rolly. Yeah, you have, which is why people like Jordan Rudess can demo it really, really well.
Yeah, but Jordan Rudess would demo anything, mate.
Yeah, but
he'd endorse anything, wouldn't he? And honestly, he'd endorse a fart if he could.
Yeah,
he would if he got paid for it.
Whether you agree or not, he's a bloody good keyboard player.
Yes, he is very good.
Therefore, I thought perhaps I'm not the right person to be demoing this. So yeah.
Okay, let's do a couple more. Where are we? Analog for Life said no, mine's all custom made. I'm guessing he's talking about his cables. Cool, yeah, that's going to be expensive, mate. I mean, if you can learn to solder, you'll save a lot of money. James,
but I agree. Basic soldering will get you a long way, but there is also the point that if a wireman, which is the generic term for someone who wires up studios, is worth their weight in gold, because it will be so much neater with someone who just goes snip, snip, and all the cable lengths are beautifully braided and everything's wide and lovely. And it just looks like a work of art when it's done well. And it looks like a bag of spanners when it's done badly. Which is why all my cables are going under the floorboards in the new studio.
So Mike said not yet. I'm guessing that's in reference to him ordering that, sir.
Yeah.
Trowin 2760. Hey guys, any plans on testing the Neural DSP Quad Cortex?
I'm trying.
I've ordered one. I couldn't wait any longer. I've ordered it.
I'm now being told mid-February.
Yeah, mid-February. So unfortunately we're not on the. There's a bunch of YouTubers that have been given access, but they're like the big YouTubers like Rabir and Pete Thorne and that lot, all the big guys. Us little small fry, we have to go and buy our.
I'm going to try and steal one from Anderson's this week though, just so you can have a go on it.
Oh mate, if you can borrow it for me just for a couple of days.
He took it home and I think he's done with it. He wanted to film some videos on it. But...
Oh yeah, I mean mate, if
that'd
be amazing.
Video on it.
Sorry.
Did you watch Rhett Shell's video on it?
Yeah, he was a little bit dismissive. But he's always a little bit on the. He's not the sort of guy that gets excited about anything.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a little bit. It was.
What do you think of the sound of it? Because I do think that he does. I do like the audio. I think I'm not too keen, whatever, on him, but the audio is good. I think.
Yeah. What from him?
Yeah, what did you think? Did you make any? Did you get any feelings from that demo, or do you just have to wait? Because you're big on the feel, right?
Yeah. So I mean, every video that I've seen has said the feel's really good. Rhett Show, I think he was going on about how he didn't think the effects were that good, and everyone else is raving about the effects. So it's almost like I don't know, but I think he would. I don't know. I think he tries stuff from the. It always seems to me that he's trying to do something from I'm completely independent, and he's not. He's no way is he independent from Line 6 pay him. There's loads of companies that he gets stuff from. So yeah, I think he was trying to give like a different opinion of it, but so his opinion on the effects not being very good was completely contradictory to anyone else's opinion.
Everyone else I've seen has said it's amazing, and I say I so was expected to have it by now.
Yeah, definitely. I think my thought is that I've ordered it, and if I really don't like it, I think there's so few and far between. I'll be able to sell it. Yeah, I'll be able to get money back. So it's not going to be, and it'd be great to do some videos. I think it'd be great for the channel, and even do some patches and stuff. And
I think that's going to be a big thing.
But you're not that keen, Jack. You're a bit.
I played on it briefly when it first came in, and I don't know. I don't know why I don't. I just don't have. I'm Jones, but that feeling when I saw that the Plexi Mini thing, to me that was a product I didn't know I wanted.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't know if I need the neural DSP. I don't know what I can't hear. Like I told you before, I saw the interface and went, well, the interface is great, but sonically, is it any better? Because I don't know. I just think when you hear that little thing, you're like, it's nothing's going to beat that. Maybe.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. I'm really sort of going more on the towards the modelling sort of route. It's just and it works. It works for the Studio Rats because it's so as opposed to getting an amp and micing up an amp and getting a sound that sounds great in the room, and then sometimes if you get the mic slightly different to how you want to hear it, it comes out really badly on a YouTube video. So I don't know. I think it's gonna be really interesting.
Oh, that's interesting. Do you think that the modelers come across better on YouTube than real amps?
Oh, no, not necessarily. No, not necessarily. Depends on some do. I mean, there's some guys that. I mean, there's obviously the YouTube guys that have a mic up, like an SM57. They're talking into it and they're playing the guitar in the background. They're going, listen to this. And it's just like, that's not, it sounds terrible. But no. I think, no, I don't think they necessarily sound wrong. But I mean, I've had two Kempers. I mean, you've got a Kemper, haven't you? Have you still got one?
I had one, yeah. Well,
yeah. So someone mentioned, I mean, the thing about the Kemper was that when you stacked guitar parts, when you played like a load of different guitar parts, it was a mess. It was like this muddy sort of mess. It didn't matter what you did with it. Go on, James has got
We have a guest.
Oh, come on.
We have a guest joining us.
We've got a guestie. Who's that?
Lorne Plummer is joining us.
Mr. Plummer. Hello, fella. How you doing?
Hey, good.
I'm good. How are you?
Such a pleasure to meet you finally. Thanks so much, but you've been so nice on the videos all the time. Yeah.
Well, I think over the time that YouTube's been available to the greater public, I've gained so much knowledge, and it's, I think, due to guys like you that we say, thanks very much. It's free knowledge, and I know it's not free because you work for it. I know you guys have worked for it, and I've worked for it when I tell other people what I know. So it's nice to just say thanks so much when you can.
It's nice to have you on, mate.
Off, well and truly.
So I feel a bit technically challenged, perhaps. I come from a guitar world, but I've been massively interested in synths for a long time. I can't play synth very well, but I can play guitar okay, so that gets me through. But I love messing about with synths.
So you're a left-hander?
Yes.
You're a lefty, you can see. Yeah, look at that.
A good spot, Hawkeye.
Oh, that's a nice one. Look at that. Mr. Salmon Pink. You can't beat Salmon Pinky.
Is that one of those? Is that one of those amazing humbuckers that's actually the same size as a normal in the bridge position as well?
Yeah, this one's a Jeff Beck Jr., which I do with all my Strats. I don't know why. Just works for me.
I had a
Nice.
Jeff Beck Jr. on a Strat once. It was brilliant. It's really
Yeah.
nice.
Very nice.
I tried it, back in the day, 1995, when I was still gigging. And a guy put one in for me, and I've done the same with every Strat ever since. All my custom shop Strats now.
So is that pink one a custom shop?
Yeah.
Let's have another look. Because I'm a sucker of a custom shop.
Yeah, this is great.
Because everyone does the thing right. So they go, it's a custom shop. You can't change anything.
Just lift it up a little bit. Just lift it up just a little bit higher. Oh, look at that.
Lorne, what chord when you pick up that guitar? What's your favorite chord?
Give us a chord. Give us a chord.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go with.
Oh, he's gone funky.
It's gone dominant 9.
More like your funky thing.
Yes.
And it's easy, right? And it impresses people. So, there's like new scratch plate, Jeff Beck Jr. But the guy who put the Junior in for me, he had to route out the body to fit in because the route wasn't. I know you're doing. No, but you're doing the thing.
What's that?
You're doing the thing that being a custom shop really matters, which it doesn't. It's a guitar.
I know you're so right.
For me,
For me, you're right. You are so right. Everything you're saying is so right. You're dead right. Without a doubt, I just panicked because it's.
The guy called me. I was driving. The guy called me. He said, "I can't fit your humbucker in unless I route it." I said, "Route it," and he's like, "Are you sure?" I said, "Yeah, route it. It's about being able to play it."
I guess if you.
And the other thing I do all the time on Strats anyway, I take the tones off, so there's no tones at all, just straight into the volume.
Oh, nice.
And the sticker, I'm the same. I love putting stickers on the back.
Well, this is one of my favorite stickers, actually. I don't know if you can read it.
What's that?
I don't want to bang my guitar against the wall particularly, but he says, "I smell dead people." So it's a legitimate rescue place from the States.
Right.
So they have dogs that smell dead people.
Nasty.
Cadaver.
Where are you, Lorne?
I'm very close to Hartford.
Oh, cool.
Oh, nice.
But my accent might betray that I don't really come from Hartford originally.
No, I think you're significantly further north than that originally.
Yes, you're right. So around Accrington, Stanley.
Great. Accrington, Stanley. Who are they?
Exactly.
You said
we've just the audience.
You said in the mid-90s that you stepped away from gigging.
No, it's when I was still gigging for quite a period after that, and I still play in bands occasionally. But my want to carry on being paid £3.50 for my skill.
That much?
Yeah, exactly.
Dream gig for me.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm looking that I have still quite a well-paid day job.
You haven't played for Danny Litchfield, have you, for that sort of money?
I've only heard about him on Here's a Legend, obviously.
Legendary.
Yeah.
And then again, nobody needs a guitar player anymore. So.
No.
Lorne, I was talking about this the other week where I feel that the guitar saved me.
Oh, look at this. Hold on, he hasn't got his headphones on. Hold on.
So now I do the bass thing as well.
I think the guitar saved me because I don't feel anyone wants keyboards because they can program it all in.
Well, the programming it in saved me.
Sorry, program it in. Say again.
Programming it since saved me.
Oh, you the synths, yeah, right.
I love the sounds. I can twiddle the cut-off knob, and that's probably about it.
Ooh. Are you? Sorry, guys, this is getting a bit because I wanted.
No, it's fine. Go on.
What gets you going synth-wise then? So you've got beautiful guitars. Do you allow yourself to dive into the synths yet, or are you?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, I don't know if I can show my setup a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
Hello.
Like porn, isn't it?
Yeah, he's got a Nord.
So it's like Electro 6, an A1, and driven in the main by BeatStep Pro. And then it's connected up to my computer, so I can drive it via Ableton. But like a lot of people these days, they're doing the like doorless bollocks. So, sorry, am I allowed to swear a little bit?
Yeah, sorry, mate. Yeah, sorry.
Apologies. So
No.
I can do two things. You know, I can pipe it in via Ableton. I pipe it back out. But most of the time, because this room is what I use to do my day job, you know, because we're all working from home. So I just have this, like I have another room full of most of my guitar stuff. So this is like on the floor, I have a HX Stomp. So I feed it all through my mixer, and then at the back I have a couple of like Genelecs.
Yeah,
Nice, excellent.
So really, like I've invested like a little bit. I mean, some of this stuff I already had, but I've invested a little bit more this type of stuff in the latter half of last year just to keep me entertained.
I think that's the case with an awful lot of people, and I'd say music shops and high-tech stores will definitely say, thanks to COVID, they had a very good year last year, and no one was expecting it.
And I feel on the other side, as a customer, I've had a really good year because a lot of the deals I've been able to get have been great, like amazing.
Yeah.
What's next? Okay. Also, Lorne, because you've watched I see you pop up on my Anderson's thing.
Yeah.
What video? If I can make you a video that you can't, like, what's the video you want to see?
I have a really good idea, but also I want to keep it for myself. But as there's only 4 of us here, we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say the Nord A1.
Mm-hmm.
You can have 4 outputs. Sorry, I'm doing to the wrong camera. You can have 4 outputs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and on a Helix, you can have 4 inputs, and you can form 4 different channels.
Well, on the Helix Stomp, you can have 4 inputs.
No. On a Helix Floss, which I also have.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
So you can, because you got the command center, so you can do all the MIDI message changes and patch changes and all that sort of stuff. Because you have 4 discrete channels going in and coming out of your Helix, if you choose to, then you can literally have any effect on any channel, anytime, and constantly changing all the time. Plus, you got your controller pedals. Plus, you got your snapshots. So, how you choose to use that immense amount of power is kind of mind blowing to me.
I love that. I love the way, the more I interact with, I don't know if I told you guys, Aldershot has a modular synth club called the Mod Cafe.
Right.
I've heard of it.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Heard of it.
And I went along, and because I realized I didn't quite understand, I was doing all these modular synths, and I don't have one. I'm not very good at it. But this passion for like maxing out the gear seems to be a real thing with synths, and that's the bit, Lorne, I struggle with in my videos, is that I'm surface level, but I'd love to get. I got the feeling when you were describing it, then I was like, oh yeah, I can see that.
So, like, where it comes, I've been doing this a long time with guitar. Like, the thing I probably understand more than anything else is guitar pedals. Like, I like a really nice amp, and I have great guitars, and I have great amps. But the bit that connects it all for me and makes me tick in my mind is the guitar pedal bit, and how you can massively change everything. So going back in the day, from an Anderton point of view, Wendy, you did a couple of the Strymon pedals, and I you'd done Volante and the Flint and that sort of stuff. So obviously, well, sorry, not obviously, I've been doing that for quite a while with my guitars. I have a lot of Strymon stuff. I love Strymon stuff. I have some decent overdrives, and I like that sort of stuff. But from a point of view of maximum control with so little work, because you can get your Helix up, and like the the bit where you change all the settings. What's that called?
The
On your
app.
computer. Yeah, the app on your computer screen. So you can do that, and then you can do the same thing with your A1. You can change everything. Well, you can't control it in that sense, but you can change all the settings around. So getting those two things up on the same screen at the same time, and just messing is kind of mind blowing.
You can also do that. The quad cortex thing is all about 4 lanes, 4 channels simultaneously.
Yeah.
So
yeah, well, I guess that's the only thing that would perhaps prompt me to grab one of those is there's enough inputs to satisfy my needs. So, like at the same time as like on a Helix, you can do 4 inputs, and then you can also put the aux and the main guitar input, and then the mic in, and vary everything on different settings. So you're not getting 4 lanes of everything all the time, or you're getting 4 lanes of something all the time if you so choose. So like I've done in bands before. So like I have the singer coming back through my Helix and then back out into the PA. And then, like just chucking a delay on the end of one of their vocals, and they turn around as if they're magic.
I used to do a very similar thing, but I was using a TC Electronic, one of the so it's TC Helicon pedals.
Yeah.
But triggering it from drums, and everyone was like, "How the hell are you messing with all the vocals and putting all the harmonies in while on drums?" I was like, "Well, I've got it set up to a pad, and I'll be playing, change the patch, hit the pad, trigger the vocal, turn it off, turn it on," and it was crazy. But everyone was like, "That's amazing."
Yeah, and it's such a small thing to do, but when you do it, they go, "Oh, wow."
I don't think it is small. I think that's really advanced stuff.
I think that's advanced as well.
Yeah,
well,
would never.
I'm only going from a point of view that I've been doing like the MIDI stuff, for 25 years, so it doesn't doesn't confuse me at all. But for like a lot of band musicians and let's say guitarists in the main, even turning their amplifier on confuses them sometimes.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Yeah, a lot of guitarists are just like, give them a pedal board and even a pedal board, and they start to get confused.
We have one guitar player who would do a sound check and his gear would be fine. He had a reasonable guitar, a decent amp, some pedals. You'd get to the first song and he'd go, and nothing would happen. We must have done that with 3 gigs with him. And when we did the first song, and they were always kind of like real pub trio gigs. We so we'll do the first song as drums and bass then, shall we? Great, fantastic. Thank you for that.
Yeah, exactly.
He'd be looking at me going, but it's wrong. I say, look, take the cable from the guitar, stick it in the amp, and
there you go.
Play. There you go. Now play. The rest you can worry about later, but make some blooming noise.
Can't do that. I mean, you can't just play like that. It's impossible. It's just
there's only one amp that I can play through directly. Only one.
What's that?
I have a 65. Well, I have a couple actually. 65 amps Ventura. I don't know what they did with that amp. I managed to get another one during lockdown, so I can do stereo now.
Nice.
Just so good.
I had the London and the Soho for a little bit. They were
yeah.
Great, they're great amps. Yeah, they went bust. They went bust, didn't they? A few years ago.
I'm not sure. Yeah, there's definitely something going on, but like Dan Bull, who kind of runs it still. Does
he?
Well, it's him and Pete, isn't it? And they're still talking about coming back through Magnetone.
Nice.
Magnetone's going to manufacture, but they're talking about doing, like they had the blue line, red line.
Yeah.
And now they're talking about, or they have talked last year about a green line, which is more printed circuit board stuff, but doing the Ventura and London Pro, I think, and something else that I can't remember.
I think it's all well and good having point to point hand wired amps and stuff, but if it doesn't actually sound different, it's only for the repair point of view.
Yeah,
I think it's fine.
I think it's all interesting. I'm gonna, even though I have all this nice stuff, and like I was looking at your pedal board, and that's why I got in touch with Aldrin Ash the other week or last week.
Great.
And such a nice guy to talk to. So, like the guy you mentioned earlier about his studio board, So for me, it would be purely for a home. For me,
Yeah.
Nobody else will ever hear it, and I don't care.
Yeah.
So I have all my Strymon stuff, my bouncing around, and all that sort of bollocks.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say legitimately, the last time I was gigging, like a year and a half ago with a proper band, I used a Helix and a SRM 150, the tiny ones.
On your mic stand.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that was my
SRM?
actual. That was my amp. That's where the sound came out of my guitar to the room.
Well, hold on a sec. What's an SRM 150? Is that
So
the
SRM 450 is the big Mackie that everyone in the world.
the big
The 350 is the next one down with the 10-inch speaker. The 150 was actually a microphone mounted monitor.
Yeah.
Microphone stand mounted
Does it sound
monitor.
any good?
Well, it depends what you wanted. I could get the monstrous anything sound out of it because, you can do anything with a Helix, right? You can do the Van Allen's, you can do the cleans, you can do the crunchy, you can do all that. And you just sounded small because it's a small speaker.
Right.
But the number of times when I had bar staff come over and just say, thank you. And I'm like, why? They said, we could hear ourselves all night. And you sounded great. I said, it's okay. Like, it confuses me beyond words why people turn it with a 15-inch, PA and stick it 4 feet away from the bar.
Yeah.
And then they get confused why people say you're too loud.
Danny Litchfield.
He's
It's a
always
legend.
too loud. Mate,
He's a legend.
and he's too loud even if he's off.
Oh, it's a 10-key rig that. We were like, why?
You're playing in the dog and duck in.
Yeah. Well, I've been doing the small amp thing for quite a while. So like even in like 2000 when I was in sort of pseudo original band, and I used to take, I don't know if you ever heard of them, like a Tech 21 Trademark 30.
Yeah, I said one of them.
Yeah. So great little amps, sound fantastic.
Yeah.
So I pop into a load of gigs and I wouldn't take pedals at that time. I had one guitar, my amp, and I take it over to the guy who had the Marshall stack. And I said, do you mind if I put my amp on top of your Marshall stack? And then you put your XLR straight into the back, no mic in the front, XLR straight into the back. And the sound guy loved you because you could get a great sound coming out of the PA.
Yeah.
And it's like, and then whilst everybody else was talking bollocks at the end, man, you were brilliant. I get my little handbag amp, as I used to call it, and my guitar, piss off, go home.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it?
The thing is, though, even as the drummer, because I'm a great believer in liking my sleep and wanting to get home, I could normally be packed and in the car by the time either of the guitar players I worked with started looking at cables going, oh man, I should really wrap some cables, man. I'm like, I'm off, bye.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Every instrument, and this was a thing that I got quite into, every instrument rig that you work with can be condensed. You can speed it up. There are loads of things you can do. You can make cables the right length for everything. You can get speed clips and speed clamps for drums. Everything can be memory locked. There are so many things that you can and should do to speed up a setup. The one thing about my band that I had for 15 years in the end, the entire PA, monitors, everything was on one cable.
Yeah,
it was like a big multi-core thing. We started off one and fed it around the room, and we could be up. An 8-piece band could be up in less than an hour.
Wow.
Yeah,
because it was one cable, and we designed it that it worked.
Yep. Like,
I've got a question for you.
Yes.
Because you're a Helix guy, and have you used the power cab?
I haven't. No,
you haven't.
Perhaps the only reason is because I got power speakers of various different sorts.
Right.
That I never felt compelled to use it. But have you used that?
No. I've ordered one because one came up secondhand on eBay for it was really cheap. So I just went, oh, great, I'm going to grab that. And because what I want to do is I just want to take. I think ideally when I'm gigging now, I just want to take the Quad Cortex if it's as good as we hope it's going to be
when it arrives in 2023.
Yeah, when it arrives, and
it might take 4 years for him to sort out the the effects and everything like he has for a Helix. But you know, they get there eventually.
What's that? Say again?
It might take 4 years for him to get the sound sorted out, but you know, like the Helix has. But he'll get there eventually, I'm sure.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome.
I don't know if I'm hogging your space now, but yeah.
No, it's great.
Feel free to dump me.
No,
It has been an absolute pleasure for you to join us. Ladies and gentlemen out there in crazy internet land, please welcome the man as Lorne Plummer.
Come on, stop.
Take care. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, mate. Nice to meet you.
Right, we've got some more questions. Nice bloke.
Indeed.
Oh, so lovely, so supportive on all the videos.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
And it's so rare to find other minds that, like you, Paul. You are rare guitar players with that sensibility. A few of
that love gear. They just love that.
Yeah, and like knowing what they're doing.
Okay.
Like my best mate Andy Cortez, amazing guitar player, but it's really slow to the party. Or like Scott McKeon and those guys, like killer players, and like the best players, but no interest at all in it.
But that's it. Maybe they don't need it. Maybe that's their thing. Maybe they've got that pure. You know, they're great because that's. I think it's the same with like I think one of the greatest guitar players at the moment is Welsh guy. Come on,
Chris Buck.
Chris Buck, unbelievable tone.
Mm-hmm.
Just feel, tone, everything. He's just for me, like he picks up. When he plays something, it's like just.
Well, Lefty Mike made the point in there. Tom Bukovac has always been a favourite. You've been checking that out?
I haven't. I still haven't checked that out. I need to do that.
He is the best.
Is he?
He is number one. I think he won Nashville's best session guy for like 10 years running.
Oh, awesome.
He's that he's the heaviest session cat. He's like the Lukather of our age.
Right.
He's the only guy still playing on all these records. And but he's everything you like. He's the new era, it's not shiny and overdriven, it's like low gain and vintage.
Yeah.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I need to I'll set myself a reminder to look at that tomorrow. F Bell Temps. Hi James, thanks for promoting Antelope Audio. Your presentation made the difference. So no UAD, Apollo Solo, Zen Go is arriving tomorrow. So no UAD. Huh?
Good work. I'm loving my Zen Go. I'm rocking it. It's a brilliant little thing.
Okay. Jeff Webber, put a load of cables all neatly rolled in a box, and you can all guarantee they'll be tied up like spaghetti, without a doubt.
There is a solution to this, and it's my cable tying technique. It's the way to get cable.
Studio hack, James.
I can't. I'm not sure we can use the term studio hack.
We've reached new levels of geekdom.
We have. I would. No, I'm not going to, because hang on. I am going to tell you. I'm going to show you.
I want to take the piss. Come on.
Right. This cable here. This is a generic
Clapton
cable. Just a normal quarter-inch jack. Right. Watch this. None of this loopy, twisty, over under thing, which of course works perfectly well.
Nice.
No. End to end, tie a knot.
Yeah, it's exactly
that way, they go in the box, and then they all come out the box. No loops together. They all stack like longish XLRs. You can go. They all stack nicely.
Just don't tighten too much.
And the number of people go, but look, there's a knot. I said, no. If you look, nowhere on there is there a tight radius other than right at the very top, and there's no pressure on it at all.
That's Danny Litchfield does it as well. Oh, Danny. Where is Danny?
Anywho.
Okay. David Brose says, thanks. Analog for Life. What are you guys' thoughts on a CL1B in 2021?
I'd love one.
Nice.
I used the UAE thing.
Huh? The blue. Yeah, the blue. Oh, who's it made by? Lincraft?
Tube Tech.
Oh God, yes, yes, please. Yeah,
lovely thing.
Interestingly, I do know UK distribution for Tube Tech, and he lives about 3 miles that way. So
Oh, nice.
I can get Tube Tech, and yeah, so I might have to get. I had one. I had. They do their own. I won't call it 500 series because it's not 500. They do their own kind of modular system, and they do a little 2-slot chassis. And I had the Mic Pre and a CL1B in that box, and I was like, "This is really good." But
I remember you reviewing that,
and it sounded amazing.
Yeah,
It was a while ago, but and Ollie wanted it back, so I might get myself a CL1B because they are awesome.
Yeah.
Now you've said it, I've gone, yes, I totally remember that and loved it.
You've probably got a load of stuff in your studio you can get rid of and just get one of them instead.
I probably have actually.
They seem to be the go-to vocal compressor.
Yes.
When I'm working with people on things, they're always saying, "Yeah, we're running it," and in the States especially. Not so in the States they get it. Yeah.
I went to, this is going back a long time now. I went out to Ibiza for 47 hours. I was out there total, and in that time I had absolutely no sleep whatsoever because this is the Ibiza way. Ibiza, and I was babysitting a Pro Tools rig for 2 days for this training session conferencey thing, and as part of it, they took us and the students went around to a load of different studios and stuff. And in Ibiza, there's an amazing place called Sonic Vista Studios. It's one of these old Spanish thinker farmhouse type places. And Henry's converted it into a beautiful studio. I do mean proper, beautiful residential studio. And the day before us was Lady Gaga, and the day after us was Teo Cruz. So, top draw when people are on the island and they're in the studio, they're there, that sort of place.
Nice.
And I was in my inevitable way leading the conversation a little bit and saying, so when Lady Gaga turns up, what do you put up in front? What's your signal chain? What do you put up? And he said, well, we normally start off with a U87 because you've got to start somewhere. And I'm going, $2,000. And then he rattled off like a GML EQ, $4,000. CL1B, another 2. And all of a sudden we got to the end of this signal chain that he just puts generically up even before he knows the artist, and then we have spent $12,000. And I'm not saying it sounds good because of that, but it ain't gonna hurt.
No.
It also helps that it's Lady Gaga or Teo Cruz. So
Andy Johns, the capture feature on the Quad Cortex will really set it apart, I think. Yeah.
I think so.
Well, this is where I was at with the Kemper just before we were joined by Lorne. The fact that if you stack all of the if you stack like loads of guitar parts using the Kemper, it just ends up like this sort of low mid frequency mess.
Yes.
Great for like live, a single guitar part, like that's the part, that's the, you take out your Kemper and you go out live, like on a big stadium tour, and you've got all your guitar sounds, your Pacific single guitar sound. That's great. That's what it's for. Perfect. But yeah, so that's what I'm hoping, that stacking with the Cortex isn't going to give you all this like flabby mud. Because
that's why real amps still work in the studio, because you can stack them up to ridiculous levels, and you haven't got mix engineers going, don't need that, because actually all those things do work. It does stack properly.
Yes. Jeff Webber says, Danny, ! Absolutely.
Sure that's not Danny L?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry, I haven't got my glasses on. It is an L. Yeah, it's a little mini L. Yeah. We don't know where he is. He won't come on.
Can't think why. Could it be because you spent the last 36 weeks ridiculing the man?
Yes.
I can't wait to get him on.
We were gonna just do we're gonna get him on, and we were just gonna just list. I was gonna call anyone that's been part of the Danny Litchfield band and just say, give me your funniest Danny Litchfield moment. Yeah. And I was just gonna go through all of them.
For all the touring and stuff I've done, there's his normal function gigs were just almost as rock and roll as doing Red Rocks.
They're great. It's great. I love a Litchfield gig.
And he'd make me wait for the money as long as well. So yeah. He'd always get that call. Oh, it's on its way. And I'd be like, no, it's all right, mate. We had a great
So true.
So I'm going to eat.
So true. Michael Michelle. Hi, guys. The last videos are great, Paul. Oh, cheers, mate. Thank you.
They
The
were
Marshall
great.
ones,
14,000 subscribers as well. James, can I have a round of applause?
14 squillion.
That's wicked.
Thanks, mate. No, yeah, it's getting there. Lefty Mike, when you check out Tom Bukovac's channel, please check out his video, Homeschooling, bonus session, man at work. You will not regret it.
Oh,
I've
mate,
got to do this now.
It's like being, if you're into football and you can go into the dressing room Ronaldo, mate.
Right.
He's that good, yeah.
Oh, wow.
I love these paintings.
Analog for Life said those modular systems are rare and expensive. Those modular systems are rare and expensive. Which one's
referring to,
Oh, yeah.
referring to the big modular analog synthesis.
James, what's the best bit of gear that you never gave back?
Me?
Yeah.
God.
Or like, what's the one where you thought I got away with that one?
Oh, God, there's been several of those, to be honest. There's been way too many to mention.
That is a great thing, but that is the great thing about doing this, doing this, because it is like, James is like, James is like the first day that he's ever had anything. Every day he wakes up and he's so excited about like a new piece of tech. So for you, to work in this industry is like,
I've followed my calling, haven't I, somehow?
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you know what? There's a few things that I think the list is actually shorter of the things I've sent back that I've said, do you know what? I'm going to buy that because I've sent it back. This was one of those. The little Tascam like studio, what's it called? Mini Studio Creator was one of those. I sent it back being all totally honest and legit. And I went, you should have bought it. You should have said, let me keep it. Let me have it.
By the way, just while you're thinking that, Analog for Life was saying he was speaking about the Tube Tech. The little Tube Tech, not the 500 series, but the modules.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, very expensive. But beautiful.
Yeah.
$6,000 for those two, for the preamp and the compressor.
Yeah, I think the power supply was the rack it came in was expensive as well.
It's expensive in its own right. Yeah, but my God. Anyway,
yeah.
Do you know what? I've been very lucky that most of the gear that I've kept, I have paid for. I can genuinely say I've paid for. The gear that is on review or I'm using for jobs, like some of the Antelope stuff. Yes, it's here, and I know full well it isn't mine, so it will go back eventually. That's not to say it won't be replaced by Antelope's next offering when they create the next greatest thing in about 3 weeks' time. But most of the stuff, the console, for example, there's as much as I love, and the guys at Audient love me, there was no way they were going to give me a console. And I would still say that's one of the best things I've ever bought from a production point of view, just because of workflow and speed. And my sound is now this console. My drum sound is as much to do with the console and the equipment as it is the sticks in my hand, I think. That's not to say, and I'll be totally honest at this point, say I've paid full whack for everything, because if I'm doing videos for people, it's part of the kickback. There are a few pieces of kit that I've kept and forgotten about, and about 3 years later, someone said, "Did you ever send that thing back?" And I've gone, "Yes," knowing full well that it's in the rack or whatever. But I'm not going to tell you what they are, because those companies might be listening.
They might come back for it.
Yes. Didn't really answer the question, did I?
No, it's a tough one. Yeah, sorry.
It's a tough one. Okay, more questions. Michael Michelle, today I saw the Behringer Solina video.
Mm-hmm.
So into it. Do you like string machines? I love them.
That's the one for me. Yeah.
And is that your video? Have you done a video on it, Jack?
No, Anderton's is now a Behringer Uber dealer.
Yes.
Poor
There are many of those now.
Yeah, they've done a. So we're going to get. I've been speaking to the guys. I mean, the guys in Manchester, the synth department, are incredible, super. But they just this Uli will just announce things, and no one really knows. He's a bit, yeah. He's just a maverick. So I think they announce things, and then the suppliers don't know about it, and that's what they're trying to sort out with only having a. I think they're trying to only deal with a few places. So that like Uli only has to communicate to a few people, because this is another one where no one really knew about it until he uploads a video of it.
Yeah.
Interestingly, no, I think that's amazing. So the Selena strings, you'll probably see that. You've seen that a lot on software.
Yes.
Probably on EXS24 as the Selena strings. So it's a classic sound. But interestingly, Behringer, again, they bought the Oberheim name. And they're actually... So the new Oberheim keyboard that I'm really excited about, the OBXA, complete rip-off again, is going to come out, but under the Oberheim brand. So you can buy a brand new Oberheim in 2021 for what looks like under 1,500 quid.
Wow. So, but is this? Is it all analog, or is it? Is it
all analog? It's all the same. He is. You know, these things that we thought would never come back. You know, I'm into synths. And you think, oh, no, there's no way that's coming back, because they were like, oh, you can't get the parts. He's figured it out. And not only has he figured it out, you're getting it at Behringer prices. But because the actual circuitry, it was manufacturing the parts, but he's got his factories to make the parts for him. So then, but he's not rinsing the consumer. It's incredible, man.
He has got a bit of a bad name, but you listen to that and you think
it's so annoying, because you're like, I know, man, but if I'm being honest, deep down, the thought of getting an Oberheim for under 1,500 quid when and then people are, oh, break, but it's got at least a warranty on it. That's why I never bought vintage synths, and I bought old guitars instead.
Yeah.
Because I felt that my money, if I could buy an old Jupiter. There was one time when I was thinking of doing it, and then I looked into it, and if one capacitor went on it, there was my money gone, because no one puts the thing. Whereas with a guitar,
a mate of mine, in fact, a mate of Paul and ours, bought a Memory Moog recently.
Oh, heavy! Wow, like heavy money.
And he said it's in tune once a week if I'm lucky.
Who was that?
Bruce from ADG.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
And he said, "I love it when it's working brilliantly. I love it, but it's in the shop being repaired more times than it's here."
They were. I remember doing a studio session like 20 years ago with one of them, and it was a nightmare. Even then, they never.
And they're sorting it out. Like the guys in the Midas team, because they bought Midas, you can tell that those guys have been involved in the synth. So to me, they feel. You know, I grew up with in the store. We used to say that if it breaks, just bring it back. We'll give you a new one. But with the synth thing, it feels like a whole nother division. And when you learn about Uli, however crazy he is, his passion is synthesizers.
Oh, right.
He wasn't into mixers or guitar amps. They're all shit. He is a synth nerd, and he has made these his babies. He's like recreating everything he wanted to buy. And so it's a really exciting time for synth people. Sorry.
Oh, no, awesome. Seb's TV wants to know, how do we all meet?
Well, Paul was at a gig and he wrote something on the gents' wall. I won't say what it was, but
yeah. No, James interviewed me once for. That was the first time we met.
No. Before that.
Oh.
You came to an event that I put on at Red Bull Studios. And yeah, you came to that event, and I was playing drums with my band, and it was for Sontronics microphones.
Oh, yes, that was. Yeah. And then
yourself, and the rest, as they say, is history.
When was that?
Oh, 1903, I think.
I reckon
gotta be 8 years ago.
8 years ago, something like that.
Something like that.
And Jack and I met Jack at a Litchfield gig, I think. Oh no, we didn't. No, me and Litchfield were out on the beers in Guildford. We were out on the beers in Guildford, and we went into this hotel bar, this really nice hotel bar at the top of
You heard, oi, oi!
Guildford, and Jack was playing, and yeah, no, I love what Jack was doing, and there was and it was great because Jack had like all his mates there, and it was
Crazy
like,
man. We had Adele's backing singer, Andy Cortez. It was a kid, but like no one was in this bar, and we'd play and we just jam for hours, and then Paul and Danny came in, and Danny was like, "Oh, do you mind if I get up and sing one?" And we were like, "Yeah, knock yourself out, mate." And then he was really good.
Yeah,
We didn't ever too much. And
Nice.
Yeah, this was great.
And Jack and I actually Jack and I have not ever met in real life.
We have very briefly at NAMM last year.
Did
we?
Yes, you did.
We were in the midst of it, but I came over and I was a bit fangirling. And I was like, James, I watched all your videos. And then Paul was like, yeah, Jack's with Andertons. And you were like, yeah, I've got to do like 8 streams right now. And I was like, oh, see you later.
Okay, in that case, I apologize for being that guy at that point.
I didn't get to see Paul in the end because he's just perpetually pissed and moving and shaking.
I was asleep, to be honest.
It's like a green hue going around like a trailer.
But me, yeah, I was pretty drunk. Yeah,
you were like, "Come on, mate, you puss," and I was like, "Mate, I'm in with the Andertons guys, and they're up at like 0 o'clock."
Then you have fun, like NAMM. Oh, I tell you, the best time in at NAMM last year was me and Dan Cooper. We got invited to the Waves party. And we ended up just rinsing the bar of cocktails, and so
quickly. Yeah, so quickly. At the end of every day, I'd be like, Paul, so I'm going to come around. You're like, too late, mate. We're already out. We're already on it.
Yeah, but you could have joined us. Next NAMM. Okay, like, do we think Summer NAMM's going to happen?
No.
I
know.
Gutted.
I so want. I think NAMM 2022 will happen, but I'm not sure what it will be.
I don't know. I don't know. Think if it's a thing of the past, maybe.
Really?
I hope it's not, because I love it. I genuinely, I've missed my winter sun this year.
It has gone on. When I went there, I didn't realise. You've been going for ages, but I went 3 years in a row, and then you start realising how long it's been about. Right now, it's like an institution as much as like the FA Cup almost. It's been around for years, hasn't it?
Yeah. Oh, 25 years, probably more than that.
I think it's more. I think it's something crazy, like back into
our buddy Michael Horwitz was saying I think he went to one of the first NAMMs and has been to most since. With wearing many and various different T-shirts and name badges.
I think because they're tactile products, especially guitar things. I think that buyers, maybe like someone like Lee Anderton will want, and he'll check out the latest custom shop thing because that's what I see with Lee. Like Lee, when he goes there, he does all the videos, but then after they go to a room and they do the business.
Yeah.
And
a lot of the business either happens in those hotel rooms off the floor, or in the bar afterwards.
Paul Drew.
Yeah, I miss it. I'm desperate to get back, but obviously, health concerns. I think once we've all been stabbed in the arm, I think we're sorted. I think let's crack on.
Oh, I just want to go Nashville. I'm desperate to go Nashville.
Me too.
Have you been?
No, I've never been to Nashville, but you've been loads of times, haven't you?
Yeah, I was so I got to play in the Ryman 3 nights in a row, and it's unbelievable, man. Like, because what you don't get is it's all stained glass. So when the light comes in, there's all this beautiful color, and it's like, and the history of it. But right outside the door is that street with all the bars on. And the one thing I'll say is they weren't all that good.
What?
Like one thing I got, maybe, and I want other people, not for myself, but English players, we should back ourselves more. Like when I went to America, I was always like, oh, I hold the Americans in such reverence. And you go along that road and they're all just doing like shit covers.
Are they?
You know, and very few of them are very, like most people in England here, like how many people are actually killing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wouldn't go to get blown away by the musicianship. But you'd love the studios, Paul. Like for me, when I went to like Blackbird and House of Blues studio, and it's all very sparse residential stuff, and it just feels like another world. It's really cool, man.
Oh yeah, I can't wait.
We'll get the Blackbird tour when we go.
Yeah.
Well,
I'll make a phone call or two, and we'll get that one set up.
Maybe we should just go anyway. If it all just ends up just being sorted by, I don't know, by late summer, and Nam is definitely off. Maybe we should just go anyway. And
by then, like the view is as well, where you sit, what you're doing. People will want to have you in just to show off as well. It'd be great, man.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, I love all that.
Good
Right,
fun.
a couple more questions. Analog for Life says the gear that I've kept is the Stam 4000 Mark II with the knee. Nice.
I love the Stam gear. I want to get some, but I'm not sure I can put up with the 3.5 year waiting list and no email communication when you've sent the guy the money. I've heard great things about the gear, but I've heard terrible things about the service.
He's a bit of an Alexander Dumble, isn't he?
Yeah.
Okay. Trowin 2760. Have you got any good cab recommendations for the Rev G20? The G20.
That thing, the Grossman, because it's awesome.
Yeah, but it's a different thing. I mean, if he wants to go out that's for recording.
I know. I'm being pedantic.
I mean, you to be honest, just buy a Rev cab. That's what it's designed to go with. I think you're always like that. So the D20, the one that I've got, is quite a dark sounding amp, and I think Safey's got one. Safey will appear on the chat. He was in earlier, and it's a darker sounding amp. Like my treble is like almost all the way up, and my bass is like opposite. So I think the Rev cab, just get a Rev cab. Just spend a little bit extra and just get yourself a Rev cab, because that's the one it was. When they plugged it in, when they built that amp and they were trying it out, that is what they tried it on. So I'd get I mean, for me, I like 1x12s, nice and portable, sound great. Jack, 2x12. James,
you can't get away from the matching cab thing. I'm with you.
Well, you 1x12, 2x12, 4x12.
My amp of choice is the Lazy J, so I love
1x12, nice. Yeah,
and I like honky speakers. I like the blue in it. I was thinking when James, we were talking about stacking guitars, I think I like and in the aux we use the aux quite a lot. I like the honky small sounding speakers.
Do you? Interesting.
Because I thank myself later when I've made that decision. I know I could switch it, but I'm always the more and more I record guitar, the less and less bottom I have in it.
Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, so I hope that helps. What sample rate are you guys working at independently?
96.
96
Cam.
Oh, James, you're such a maverick.
48. 96 to me is pointless.
No,
but,
96.
Yeah.
44.
1 reason only.
44. Interesting.
Well, we did the Wombats in 48 recently.
Wow.
But that was just because most of the people were sending us stuff in 48. But Mark doesn't believe in, he says he can't hear the difference, so he does it all in 44.
Good for him. Nice one.
96, 1 reason and 1 reason only. Higher plug-in resolution.
I'm 48 because of the plug-in resolution, because it's half of 96. You're always better to go half. But anyway, that's interesting, and good on him that he's that he's got the guts to say I can't hear the difference. Yeah. Great, and looking at he's making hit records.
Yeah, it's weird that he just doesn't do it. 48. Some of our stuff is in 48, but mainly.
Yeah.
40.
Interesting. That's great. Well, get loads of. You can have loads of processing power. Okay.
He doesn't mix. A lot of the stuff he's not allowed to mix.
Right. Yes.
So I don't know if it would change if he was mixing, like you were saying with the plugin. But even tracking, I know what you mean. Like, is there something to be? What was Al Smith's thing on it? Did he ever track it?
They track everything on 192.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. But their argument is, why would you not? If you can, why not? The reason I don't track everything on 192 is because I would eat more drive space than I already do. And most of the time when I mix down, if I'm mixing anything for a video, it's all going to 48 anyway. So, but as I say, 48 is at least half of 96. But Steve and Al are doing everything at 192 because future-proofing. What if they can do it? Why not?
That makes sense. I think that's the only thing about 44.1, because 44.1 was when you did CDs. That was, and great, it goes down to CD, but we don't use CDs anymore. That's why
mostly the video and 48. Yeah, I know what you mean.
I wouldn't. Yeah, I think. Anyway, where are we? Safety says, yeah, the D20 is dark indeed. Such a great sounding amp, though. Michael Michelle got a couple of Stamps, SSL comps, and an LA2A. They sound awesome, but the guy is a bit of a moron. Bad attitude when it comes to communicate with clients. What is the problem with the guy? It's like Dumble.
It's like he's got something that people want to buy. People want to give him money, and I don't think he can physically make enough. Therefore, the thing that he forgets to do is contact people. So people send him, not insignificant amounts of money, and he just forgets to email them.
Oh, that is shocking. That's shocking. Anyway, Analog for Life, he does 96. Trowin 2760. Thanks, guys. Love your channel. Cheers, mate. Analog for Life says, last question. What is the relationship of 3 A's with guitars?
3 A's.
You might have to explain that. You mean 3 arseholes, us?
And
LA 3 A's?
Huh? LA 3 A's? Yeah. Maybe it's LA 3 A's.
I never used the LA 3A for anything. What about you? I'm guilty of just staying at the 2 A's.
Backing vocals. And that was only because I tried it once because I thought, oh, what does this one do? Rather than, there was no education about it. It was like, oh, an LA 3A, let me try that. Used it on backing vocals. Oh, I like this. I'll use that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you're saying, Analog for Life. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, that is true. It's always it is like the industry standard or the thing that people would say that's what it works. I think that or 1176s.
Yeah,
but I don't know. Maybe it's because it's a cheap LA2A and it's a guitar, so they don't go. We don't want to waste that on the guitar.
Yeah, it's a good point.
The other one everyone goes guitars for is a distressor.
Sorry,
everyone puts distressor on guitars.
Do they? I've never done that.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah. I've always seen lots of people do distressors on guitars and gone, that sounds like a big rock guitar.
Oh, nice. Oh, I'll try that.
I've done it with plugins. I've also done it with the real thing. I would like to get a pair of real distressors for that, for that purpose. Well, we've done a really good job of covering my questions, so thanks for that.
Every time, sorry, mate.
I had a nice time. It's the only time I get a chance to see it. Just had to see someone else apart from my wife and my son.
That is true. Thank you for joining us. Thank you to Lorne for the Lorne Plumber for joining us as well. Yeah. That's enough. And we will see you next week for more of the same, when hopefully I shall bring my list of questions and they might even get a chance to get answered. But in the meantime, take care, stay safe, and all that sort of stuff. And we will see you again very, very soon.
Right,
See ya.